Hi everyone, welcome on the TalkWalk channel. I'm Alexander Prévost-Osmani, and today I want to share a few simple explanations about how using a farming robot for weeding. We'll focus on practical setups and adjustments, plus few tips to use your farming robot the right way. We will use the test we did with the SRBC during the GoFar event in Toulouse early February. The conditions were wet, so the event could not happen in the field because no tractor could enter. But the SRBC robot is light and uses tracks, so impact on the soil is much lower, and we can use this kind of weather window. I agree, these conditions are borderline, but you will see the hoeing test we were still able to do that day. When I bring a robot into a field, I first look at the environment. Am I close to a road? Are there people or other machines working in the field? Are there buildings or trees that could disturb the GPS signal? Are the working conditions okay? Here the field is a good place for robotic work, but the conditions are very wet. I need to take that into account when I adjust my tools. When I bring a robot into a field, it is very important to make sure that the mechanical parts are in good shape. The quick checks are no loose screws, safety device like front bumper, emergency stops, and I also take a quick look in the GPS antennas to be sure there's no issue on this side. Since this is a new field for the robot, we are very far from where it normally works, so I need first to make sure the robot has internet access to receive the RTK corrections. The SRBC robot needs a SIM card to access the internet and need also a RTK corrections. On my side, I connect to the closest base network near the test area. We found one nearby that gives very good accuracy on the Centipede network. Then you just enter the server settings and the name of the correction base close to your field. To do weeding, I need a mission to give to the robot. And for this mission, I need a map. Here, this is an experimental plot seeded by the GoFar organization. So I do not have the GPS seeding lines. If I had the GPS seeding lines, I would simply reuse the map to create my hoeing mission. So here, I work without an initial map. I take the first radish row, I survey it, that means I record the GPS position points along the radish line, and then I measure the seedings row spacing and duplicate the line to generate the GPS map. Once we have the GPS path to give to the robot, we also have to give it the length of the tools and the type of turn it should do. Here the conditions are very wet, so we will do U-turns instead of turning on spot turn. Now that the mission is ready, I can send it to the robot and move the robot close to the working points. Once the robot is close to the path, I can start the mission. The robot follows the path we asked for and lowers the tools at the right time. It leaves the tool at the end of the field, makes the U-turn, and repeat it until the mission is over. So we saw how to use a robot for mechanical weeding, but now I want to share tips and tricks how to set up properly the robot. So the tip number one is how to generate a GPS map quickly. On bare soil, it is quite easy to generate a map, especially for seeding. You define the first line, for example, with A, B points, and then you set the spacing in between the line to generate the field pattern. On a field that is already planted, or with permanent crops like vineyard or orchard, you first need to generate the map from the real row positions. So I move the robot inside the field and I use it like a surveying pole, which is cost-effective for occasional use. But if you need to generate maps on large areas, it is better to use a professional survey pole. I suggest you to identify a provider that can rent you the equipment because you only need it once. Tip number two, how to adapt the tool to the real conditions. Here for the test, we drove several times on the same path in conditions that are way too wet on a clay soil. So the result is that we compact the soil on the first pass, so we had to remove 2 blades. In general, the harder the conditions, and the less precise the paths are, and the more you need tools with a big tolerance to inaccuracy. Tip number 3, how to manage your U-turns. It is very important to look at where your turn happens and under which conditions the turn must be done. Here we are on a clay soil in wet conditions, so the soil does not carry well, and the SRBC robot has 2 narrow tracks. So if you turn on spot, it creates ruts, and it can't reach the torque limits of the motors, especially if the robot is too heavy. In general, headland zones are key parameters to clearly identify, so you can correctly set the mission profile and work efficiency. If you want to recover this test trajectory, to review it or to modify it, you can download it. I recommended using our online tool to do this operation on robot mission. For that, go on www.torque.works or find the link in the video description. Feel free to subscribe to stay informed about our new posts and explanation about farming robots. Thanks for watching this video and see you soon on the TorqueWorks channel.